On May 26, 2024, for the Riders Get Money Bingo. And your chance to take home a whopping $2,000. Don't miss this opportunity to hit it big. Tickets are on sale now at rideby.com. Single ticket, $10. Or increase your chances with 3 tickets for only $20. Hurry, tickets are selling fast. Visit rideby.com to secure yours today. Feel the excitement and win big at the Riders Get Money Bingo. Get your tickets now at rideby.com. Your $2,000 moment is waiting.
Riders Excursion and Tours weekly e-bike rides. Gather your family and friends for an unforgettable ride through stunning landscapes. Book your adventure today at ridersabike.com or call 473-422-1011. Don't miss out. Let's ride.
Yo! Yes! Welcome to the ride. Welcome to the ride. Wednesday on the ride. Yo! Nice. As you guys come in and share up the thing. Victor Batson, how you doing? Nice, nice, nice. Let me go and share the ride as well, guys, because today we're going to have a very important conversation. Yeah, Houston, we have a problem. Yeah, we have a problem. The goal today, guys, is to engage like minds who have some first-hand knowledge and some information that I think that the authorities and everyone need to listen to. My first guest, as you know, he's no stranger to the ride. He's been on here before. He's one of the most inspirational guests that we have here. He's an international soca artist as well. And he is really, you know, every time he comes on, I'll show you just now. Every time he comes on, he always have this message, right? This message. Today, he have a very unique message. And the world needs to hear this message. So here's what I want everybody to do right now. Here's what I want everybody to do right now. As I'm doing right now as we speak, I'm going to add followers. Just put add followers and share this program to every single person that follows your page. Every person who follows your page. So they will get an opportunity to hear what we have to say, because this situation that we're being faced with right now, it is something that needs to be dealt with now, not later, but now. And it affects everyone. And if it doesn't curb at this point in time, it might mean a dire conclusion for a lot of us, right? Definitely. So add followers, add all your followers, guys. Add all your followers. Rachel Boateng, how are you doing? I'm doing that right now as well. Add all my followers. Add followers. There we go. Because Killa got a message, and I want everybody to hear his message. He put it here. Let me pin this. So bad, I'm pinning it to everybody that I know. Do the same. Hey, Neil Redhead, how are you doing? Thank you so much for joining. All right, let me pin this up to the top. Nice. Okay, good. All right. Good evening to you. Merlin, how are you doing? Thank you so much. All right, guys, before we start, have you ever done something that you always dreamt of doing because you was kind of scared of doing it, but then after you did it, you realized that it's a piece of cake, right? Well, earlier this week, guys, I went to a art museum, but this art museum is a different kind of one. This art museum, you actually have to draw, right? Sketch, like do a painting, not draw, but painting, and I was able to do this, guys. First of all, don't laugh at me, right? Don't laugh, because this is my first time, okay? This is my first time. So this is my art. Yeah, I kind of scared to show it to all you now, because I have a feeling that all you go bust out laughing. All right, so this is my art. It is my representation of a bridge over troubled waters. You get it? You see it? A bridge over troubled waters. Yeah. That's my representation of a bridge over troubled waters. Did it myself. See my initial right here? J-E-G? Yeah. So this is it, guys. So I'm going to hang this up right over. In fact, someone said I should give it away. I don't know if I want to give it away. I probably should auction it. Auction starting at $1 zillion. How about that? Start the auction at $1 zillion. You guys want to buy a bridge over troubled waters? You like it? Yeah. Now I feel all they just antagonizing me, man. Not looking too worse. Lydia, I know that was you was going to say. I know you was going to say that. She say looking good. She's not looking too worse. Thank you, Lydia. Yeah. Okay. All right, Lydia. Thank you so much. All right, guys. Before we even go on again, I got to tell you this real quick because we are limited time. Mr.Killa. This program is sponsored by the big bingo that we have coming up on Sunday, right? So get your ticket if you have not yet gotten your ticket. To get your ticket right now, go to ridebuy.com or click that link. If you buy a ticket anytime during this particular program, you get 4 tickets for $20, okay? 4 tickets for $20. If you buy 1, you get it for 10, 4 tickets for $20 US. So get it anytime in this program to get an added additional ticket. So help me welcome my good friend, international soca artist. How are you doing, my friend? How things? Hold on, I hear you. Your audio went off. All right, we'll have Killa sort out the audio. Killa, jump back out and come back in. See if that would resolve the problem. All right? Yeah. Yes. So more opportunity for you guys to tag a friend and invite a few friends. Yes. Nikki Lewis, how you doing? Thank you, Nikki Lewis. Queen. Nutmeg Queen. All right. Yes. All right. Let me see if Killa is back. Let me see if I can get him. Killa, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Let me know if you're
All right. You're okay. Perfect. Audio clean and clear. Killa,
nice.
Welcome, my brother. How you doing?
I'm fine. Everything is blessed, Junior. I here in the beautiful Isle of Spice. You see, watch that go up sunset.
Boy.
Go up sunset is.
Lord have His mercy.
We up in Constant
I'm feeling
Springs.
jealous now. I'm feeling jealous now, man.
Yeah, our little paradise.
Nice.
Yeah, I am fine, Junior. But you know how it go. I'm on here because we have concerns, and not just concerns. I think it's something that we. You remember when I was talking about this? Remember when I was saying that it's coming?
Yeah.
Some people call me the other day. They say, "Killer, but I find it come quick." And I said, "Nah, it's not that it come quick. It's been brewing, but just to say, sometimes we as a people we don't listen,
Right.
you know." And then sometimes when the Father gives certain people, you know, that mind, that spirit, you know, of discernment, and not just that, sometimes that basic common sense that makes you figure out things, see it for what it is, understand what is the possibilities. Sometimes when you break that down and you explain it to people, Junior, they can see it. And they are not willing to sometimes listen to you because sometimes they're in some position where they feel like they are the ones in the position who might have the degree,
Right.
you know, or what you would call the education. So they have the certificates and they might have the degree and sitting in a position and they have the big job. So they don't listen to you because, you know, you don't have the degree.
Right.
But a lot of the times, the people with the degrees is who have the world in trouble, and sometimes who does have the country in the more problems than you can think about. And sometimes the Father, as I always say, does give the little man in the little boathouse down the road, or the little woman, the little old woman in the little boathouse down the road. She might she might have the vision that can save the country.
Right.
But then sometimes, you know, those who have to engage with her think that they are better, think that they, you know what I mean? She's not good enough. So then they don't listen, you know? But this evening, we're here to speak about the way that the country look. The other day I wanted to speak about it, but I couldn't speak about it on my platform. Because I feel like my Instagram and things like that is way too international. To speak about the issue in the way I wanted to speak about it. And I think it's an issue that we need to deal with as a people, as a
Yes.
family, as a country. you know. And as Grenadians, we're supposed to deal with this by ourselves for now.
Right.
But first and foremost, with all the gun crime and the violence that is happening, I first want to engage my brothers, my sisters out there. I'm talking.
All right, we just lost Killa, but don't worry, guys. Yeah, you're back. Okay, we lost him again. All right, so Killa is going to come back, guys. Again, another opportunity to share this program a few times because we are going to go deep. Yeah, we are going to go real deep, right? Deeper than we've been before. Serious talk because what we're seeing, what I'm seeing, guys, I don't like it. And I know you don't like it too. All right, Killa, you there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me know if you hear me.
Yeah, yeah, I'm hearing you.
All right, cool. Yeah, I want to speak to the brothers, the brothers and the sisters and the people who is involved, really and truly. First and foremost, I just want to, I want to ask them to wake up and find it within their heart, within their mind, to not think about just themselves or to function in a space of anger, but also to think about the country, our future, our children, and their own families.
Right.
Because, see, it hurts all of us. And Junior, I've been down that road, a long time ago. And I want to say that quickly I recognize that that story never ends good. But sometimes, they don't pay attention to that. Because when you look for role models this day and age that has been in that space, the story never really ends good. And a lot of our youths are now heading down that path because that is the influence now that they have. You know what I mean? When you go to social media, we have countries nearby. I hear people making statements and talking about, oh, well, it's not just happening here in Grenada, it's happening around the Caribbean. So because it's happening around the Caribbean, does that mean that it's supposed to happen here? I grow with my queen right now up on the hill by my queen.
Right.
And what happened in my neighbor's house couldn't happen in my house. You see? And that is by the principles that is set. And because it is happening around the Caribbean and different countries, not all the Caribbean countries, not all. And I would say every place have their little crime and have their little things here and there. But what started happening the other day, it was an extreme large amount of purchase, street purchase of firearms. So we have guns more than ever, right? And who is buying the guns? Our young brothers and sisters as well. You see? Now it moved from that into crime. Not just a man firing shots, but now killing one another. Right? Now, whatever circumstances might have caused this outburst in the pockets that it happens, all of that is yet still caused because of the systematic culture that we start inheriting.
Right.
You see? Because how long I been talking about this, and I say it coming, it coming, it coming, because you could feel it brewing. And there is some things that I am praying don't happen, that I am feeling, that I am hearing about, and I'm praying that it doesn't happen. Because when it's reaching that space, because you see, crime as a man we feel, all right, I is a bad man and I ain't taking that disrespect and crime in that space could still be curbed quickly. You see? But when crime reaching a space of passion, when a man start to function because of deeper passion and pain, that is a whole different story. Now, on here, I don't want to give nobody ideas. So I don't want to speak about, you know what I mean? I don't want to speak about it in a certain way still, Junior.
Right.
But we
Right.
have to be very careful because when we get into that space, it will be hard to pull it back. And we need to stop it now. And that's why I speak to my brothers. I have some of them might be fans, some of them might be friends. You know what I mean? Because Grenada is a small place. We all used to be one family. You see what I'm saying? I beg all you, please, to think about it because when we look at Grenada, Grenada is run by is I mean, it's tourism. You see, it's still your tourism. And so much people internationally calling me, hey, what happening, boy? Thing, I see all the thing, Grenada, hey, da da da. And that is why I didn't want to speak about it on my social media the other day. You know what I mean? To add more fuel to that kind of fire, but see how we can actually, you know what I mean, engage it on the ground. The youth need things to do. They need to engage with somebody. Sometimes they need somebody to also talk to. So it's not just come in and say, okay, all right, yeah, the crime, da 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 da. Really, no. But at the same time, it is unacceptable. So authority need to find means, the ways that is necessary to actually fight this problem. And there is ways. There
Yes.
is. That is the problem, It's when you're looking at a problem and you know how to fix it and it is not being fixed. And some people go say, oh, it's not a 1, 2, 3 thing, and it's not this and it's not that. And it's difficult. You have to wait on facts. And you have to wait on facts. The fact is that we have waited too long to engage the ground, engage the youth, understand what is the quarrels, what is the problems, what is the issues, what are they facing, and how we can help mitigate those things. You see what I'm saying? A long time. Since in the pandemic, I my hand on my head and I'm balling. But then people go say, oh, Killa, but yeah, you like to talk. I don't like to talk. I could feel it. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Yesterday, a man see me say, young prophet. I say, what do you mean by that? He say, yeah. I used to hear when you're talking about it. I used to hear you say it coming. And when I brought it to some people, they talk to me like, oh yeah, well, them thing don't happening, them thing won't happen here. Because they had no vision. See
Right.
what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
we're reaching a place here now where this comes down to all of us, to the people involved, to the families, you understand? To the elders of this country, to the youths of this country, to authority, to the police force, the government, to everybody as a family. The only how we can stop this is as a people.
People. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Decide we don't need it
Yes.
and we don't want it.
Stick up in there, Killa. Stick up in there, Killa. I want to bring in the conversation here, Attorney Denison. George, Denison, your video is very dark on your face. I don't know if you could add additional lighting on your face, but it's very dark on your face.
You might have to give me a few minutes.
Okay, no problem.
Just
Yeah,
see what I could do.
we'll come back. We'll come back to Denison, George, as soon as he sort that out there. So, Killa, someone asked a question there, and we know where the guns are coming from. There's no secret where the guns are coming from. But why now? Like what about this point in time that this is it just escalated? It just exploded.
Judge, when you plant a seed, there is a time that seed is going to pierce the ground
Yeah.
and turn into a small tree. You see?
Mm-hmm.
And then that tree is going to start growing. Bigger branches, bigger leaves. So the same way, what you say right now,
Right.
we are not at the worst place. It and if you leave it, then it's going to grow.
Right.
You understand? It's not just right now. It been brewing. Why you think I've been talking about it so long?
Mm-hmm.
Why you think I've been talking about it so long? Because it just started? No. Watch how long I'm talking about it, brother. And I told them after the pandemic, they will have a new pandemic. No, after the pandemic, we have a drought of the mind. If you have a piece of land and you don't plant fruits on it, the weed will grow. The
Yeah.
same way, if you have a mind, the Bible spoke of it. He said, when you hear the old people say, oh, idle hands is the devil's workshop. The Bible says that. You see what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So at the end of the day, when we look at how our youth has been cradled after the pandemic, we can see that there is a big drought. You understand? Look at that. I was speaking about all the gambling, what happening, that we are
Yeah.
upholding. We as a people has been upholding a lot of crap in society, in the society. You
Mm-hmm.
see? So this is not just to blame them, because at the end of the day, sometimes they'll say, oh, they're supposed to know better. Oh, yeah, if you did not teach them better, how would they know? That's what I'm saying. When I grow, what was happening in my neighbor house couldn't happen in my house because my mother said none of that. and set a certain type of principle, she will break your hand, your foot, your back, your face if she have to. You understand? Say it's not happening. So unless we don't have that type of approach to our society, then how then would we curl? How then would we teach? How would we bend? How would we then have a grip on society? When you have little children running the community, little children, and you can't talk to them. You understand? The authority turn and say, oh, well, gambling is not on the books, so we can't do nothing. How you mean? How you mean? I could never be in charge of a place and that happening. You can't, that can't happen. I don't want nobody say I will give my life, my blood, my everything. You understand what I'm saying? Because here it is not just about me, it's not just about you, it's about the community and the country. What about the old people that live in there? Would you like that for your mother and your grandmother? So because you not living there, that means you don't care anything about it. It has to stop.
Yeah. Let's
You
try
see?
back. Let's try back Denison, George. Denison, your video is not at its best, but I guess we got to work with it. If that's the best we could
I think
get.
that's the best I could do right now. Yeah.
Okay, no problem. So Denison, welcome to the program. Denison George is a musician and also an attorney at law. Denison, Mr.Killa, I'm happy to have you guys here so we can start talk about some constructive things that could be done. And Denison, your premise also is important because you were also involved in a gun crime which almost took your life at one point in time. What do you feel about this, the situation that we're in right now?
Well, as following up with what Mr. Killa says, I'm approaching this topic from one who has personally been the victim of gun crime a few years ago, during the 90s, Junior, when Brooklyn was on fire.
Uh-huh.
Got gunned down. You know, I grew up in Bed-Stuy. And, as you know, Junior, we went to the same high school.
Wingate, yeah.
There was a Sunday that was called the Brooklyn Bloodbath, where a few people got killed, and I was one of the lucky ones that survived. I was driving to work that morning, and this individual had killed two people in a house, and he came out, and there was a gun battle between he and the police, and he knew that I saw when he shot one of the police officers, so he came up to my car and he put the gun to my head. And by God's grace, I don't know what happened. Instead of going through my head, the bullet went through my chest. So when we speak about gun violence, I mean, I grew up in Bed-Stuy, one of the toughest neighborhoods to grow up in America, Julia. You know that.
Yeah.
I went to Wingate High School. You went to Wingate High School. It's one of the toughest high schools in the country. So the whole situation with guns and violent and gun crime, it's something that is dear to me. It's personal to my heart. It's a personal story. I always tell people who don't like, who wants a gun and who wants to use guns, when I speak to young people as a lawyer, I always tell them, you don't know what a gun tastes like. You don't know what a bullet tastes like until you see yourself dying, and you catch yourself going to the other side with no chance of returning. Then you would understand. And I'm sure the young men that died in Grenada recently, I'm sure they had time to think of that they were dying. I was lucky. I got a second chance. They didn't get a second chance. So when I speak on this topic, I'm speaking from a personal perspective. That event, what happened back in the 90s, late 80s with me as a young boy in Brooklyn, it gives me the impetus to go on to study criminal law and criminal justice and law and order at John Jay College of Criminal Justice, and then further to be a lawyer. Now let's talk about Grenada. There is a direct correlation between the United States and what is happening in the Caribbean. Grenada is not the only country that is facing a gun crisis. Grenada is not the only country in the Caribbean that is seeing a great rise in the cases of homicide. We have it in all the Caribbean countries. I think Grenada, for every 100,000 people, we have about 26 killings. St. Lucia have about 36 to 100,000 people. I think we are fifth or sixth on the list in the Caribbean. Now, anytime you have an issue of gun manufacturing in the United States, the proliferation of guns in the Caribbean also increases. So you have a direct correlation of gun production in the United States and illegal gun flow into the Caribbean. Now, most of the guns in the Caribbean, especially countries like Grenada, are coming in through the ports, through the airports, but most likely through the ports in containers, barrels. This is ATF, United States government studies that prove that most of the guns that flown into the Caribbean are going into containers. They're going into barrels. They're going in disguise in small shipment of people sending food and sending different things to their families or whoever they're sending stuff for to the Caribbean. So I think that definitely to deal with that, to bring some kind of resolution to that, you have to approach this from many angles. And if you ask me, Junior, some of the angles that which has proven to be successful, you must have some kind of cooperation between. You have to have what you call community mobilization. You have to mobilize the community, the people in the community, to stand up, to report, to work with the police, to stand up, to claim their territory. If everyone in a community is going to go inside and lock their doors, that's not going to work. And that's when you have to mobilize the community to organize, to speak to their children, to work with their children. Now, let me tell you, I heard what Mr. Killa said, but a few years ago, Junior, I don't know if you remember, before the election, I did a video asking the government to declare a state of emergency when it comes to Grenadian men, because I saw it. I visit Grenada often. I've been spending a lot of time in Grenada, and I came across a lot of young people in Grenada with no hope, no future, nothing to live for than just drink rum and just throw their life away. Now let me look at the other second thing that is needed. You need community mobilization. Okay. You also need opportunity provisions. You have to provide opportunity for young people, Junior. If you have a country, let me say this. When you hear the people in the government talk, or you hear the big shot talk, everyone is talking about stakeholders. Sanders have a stakeholder in what's going on in Grenada. Silver Sand have a stakeholder in what's going on in Grenada. Huggins have a stakeholder in what's going on in Grenada. Bryden and Miners. But nobody is talking about the man on the street. And in order to have what you call some kind of opportunity provision, you have to give a voice to the voiceless. You have to bring people in who doesn't have feel they don't have a voice. There's a lot of people in Grenada who feel they don't have a voice. And they feel they are not a stakeholder in Grenada's future. Some of them feel Grenada have already left them behind. And as a Grenadian abroad who comes home often and who are involved a lot in Grenada in terms of what I do, in terms of the hospital and donating my philanthropy work, you know, it's very tough to see so many young people home who have no hope, as I said. So you
Right.
have to have what you call opportunity provision. You have to provide opportunities for young people.
Let me jump to Killa right there. Killa, on that opportunity and providing opportunity, is it that there are lack of opportunities for young people, hence the reason why they are getting involved in this? Or is just a proliferation of guns and drugs that is leading to the crime?
It will be both. To my brother here, he is right. But I would add this. Now, if you are not training the minds of young people to see opportunities, to intercept, and how to treat opportunities also, even when they get opportunities, they don't know what to really do with it. You see?
Right.
And then there are those who wants to do something and can't find things to do. So I will come across the boat. In the pandemic, I had 21 young people employed with me, and I refused to let them go. And I did that. I paid them out of my pocket just to support them so they wouldn't go do other things, right? And I tried my best. But after that, you would have some young people that would not have a job for, say, a year, 2 years, and they will come begging, asking, well, I really want something to do. I want something to do. And you will give them something to do. And before you know it, them and somebody else have an argument on the job, and you don't see them. They ain't come back.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So they don't know how to also treat some of the opportunities. So it's a whole mindset that is happening. It's a whole breakdown in our society. You know what I mean? And that's why when the brother just said that he came to Grenada and see a lot of young men looking lost, because they are. They're not sure where to turn, and there is no real program reaching out and saying, here what? I think if you have this type of talent, maybe this could work. This could happen. Then we see how we can actually go down the road. So there is no infrastructure in place. You understand? You would have government programs where they would have skill training and such now and then, and you don't find them going.
Right.
You understand? And to the government and to people in those programs, they will think that okay, but we're providing opportunities, but they are not coming.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, when you look when you sit down and you ask them, and say, yeah, boy, I go into that for months, but really and truly, I need to survive. I need to eat. I need a job. I have my mother to feed. I have not. You understand what I'm saying? So they are not seeing the opportunity in the right manner also. So it's a whole mindset.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a.
But Grenada on a whole, when
Mhm.
you ask young people and you ask people on the street what's going on, the first thing they tell you, yeah, boy, the place hard, boy. The
Mhm.
place hard. That it is hard for them. For some people, again, yeah, boy, Grenada sweet, Grenada nice. What is the missing link? You understand? In the middle of that
Right.
is education. It's how we are educated about our place, our product, what we have, how we can use it, and how we can make it bigger and better. How then we industrialize. You understand this little country? You
Hmm.
understand? Because there is yet so much to do, Junior. We still have fruit spoiling. Where is, you know what I mean? We still have so much things that we can do, you know, but they don't see it as an opportunity.
You're right. You're right. Denison, here is one of the problems that we see. Some people would say, for the guys who are deep inside of this already, why would they? What could pull them away from the big, immediate benefit that they're getting, instant
Grenada,
gratification,
let me
right?
just say this. Grenada, the society that was existing in Grenada prior was Grenada was always, our children and children in Grenada was always raised on the premise that it takes a community to raise a child.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay? When I was a young boy in Paraclete, 2, 3 years, 4 years old, anyone could have disciplined me if I was doing something wrong on the street. One of the first missing link I saw in Grenada was that the older folks, I remember as a child, I left Grenada very young, but I remember going on the bridge in the afternoon and sitting and talk with old people. What I realized when I came to Grenada, the old people were frightened to mix with the young people. They would sit in the
Yes.
veranda and they would be peeping and they would be looking and they wouldn't go outside and mix with the old people, the young people, because they will be disrespected. They are
Yeah.
frightened of the young
Yes.
people. And it's proven in Japanese society, in South Korea, in
Ah.
every society in
Mm-hmm.
this world, it's
Mm-hmm.
proven when there is a broken link between the old and the young, societies suffer, the young
Yeah.
suffer. And not only that, let me just say this to you, Junior. What need to be done? And Mr. Killa is very involved. I'm also very involved. And there is a lot of people very involved. Okay? What need to be done? As you said, there is people already in the gang. You have to try to use a general approach, which it calls suppression. Okay? Suppression means that what you use a technique to prevent younger folks from joining the gang. So whatever incentives that are going to be pulling them in, you have to try to crush that incentives.
Right.
Those already in the gang, that's where the community, that's where law enforcement, all that comes in to try to persuade them that a life in gang does not make sense. If you ask me, okay, we're dealing with the gangs now. If you ask me, I would think the first thing the government should do, I would outlaw all gangs in Grenada. It's illegal to be in a gang. You understand? That's what the first thing I would do. The
Right.
second I would do, as I say, you have to give young people, there is something pulling young men in Grenada into the gang. I don't know if it's status, looking for
Right.
status, and it's also something pulling them into owning a gun, Junior.
Yeah, but Denison,
You know,
when you say a gang, I guess that have to be defined. That have to be defined. Like what is a
well,
gang?
criminal gang. There is criminal gang, and there is criminal gangs. People who are involved in criminal activities. And I'm saying you have to have some kind of listen with all what we're talking about societal deterrences, the societal policies for society to approach these young people and say, listen, you have to make it clear that it would not benefit you to be in a criminal gang. There is more to lose than to being in a gang than going the other way. But when you go the other way, you have to provide opportunities for the young people. Listen, my brother, I recently came up with a proposal, which I'm going to be presenting to the government, to create what you call a summer job program for all secondary students in Grenada of working age. You have
Right,
over 2,000 young people in secondary school who is of working age. During
right,
the summertime, provide employment to them at $200 a week. It will cost $800 for each secondary student. It will be an 8 weeks program where they'll be going to work in different. People would say, "Oh, we have the money," but this is different. These young people be going into job training. Who the government is going to be hiring some of them, bringing in to the hospital, the airport, wherever, and you're also going to get the private sector involved. Now,
right.
this is you're talking about 2,000 young secondary school students of working age who you'll be taking off the street during this whole summer period and
Right.
given some kind of employment and some kind of work training, apprenticeship program. So
Yeah.
I'm saying let's start there. I know this is not, it's too late now for the government to implement some kind of program like this year, but you could also have that program next year. As I
Yeah.
said, Junior, you have to give young people a seat on the table.
Absolutely. But
You
Killer,
have to.
And just,
your video is completely dark, Killer. But I understand. You told me that you was going to lose light anyway. Killer, you implemented something like that in your neighborhood. With
yes.
what was the conclusion of it?
It was good. It was good, Junior. I tried my best, but sometimes when you don't have the right support, something like that would be definitely better for, bigger companies. I can do the 3 or the 4 or the 5. I still have young people employed at this moment.
Right.
But it's how much I can do. So what Denison is saying, it's something I have been trying. That's why I said during the pandemic it was 21 young people I had. And I
Right.
really actually I had to pay them out of my pocket because around that time you're not making any money. It's the pandemic. Business was not good, but I still try to hold on to them, as much as I can. Um, but when you have a program like that, you get the private sector and stuff like that, brother. It is just talking about this does get me so passionate and sometimes so upset in the midst of the conversation because this is not rocket science. This is not so hard to do. It's just that sometimes the people who can do it are sitting in the position, but they are not passionate about it. And a
Right.
lot of the times, the people who have true passion does not be in the position. You understand what I'm saying? And
Right.
ideas, speaking and saying things or reading things, I reading ideas is not having passion for it. You
Right.
understand what I'm saying? So it takes people who have that real love and that passion for Grenada, the community to move, to just go out there and do it. Because I just be doing things sometimes and others say, but if we do this on a massive scale, we could create,
I
change through the
Yeah.
country
Junior,
tremendously.
Yeah.
I
That's true.
agree. Listen, as you know, I see some of the comments saying, "Well, people in Grenada doesn't want to work." People, listen, there's a lot of young people in Grenada who does not want to work. That's true. I'm not saying everyone wants a job. Everyone is interested in. But let me tell you something, Junior. This is a wake. What is happening in Grenada is a wake-up call.
Right.
Everyone is building a big house and a big wall to protect them. They are realizing now the big wall they're putting up in front of their mansions cannot protect them because they have to go out on the street. You understand where I'm coming from? And I applaud Mr. Killa what he's doing. A few years, 2 years ago, I also started giving small business loans to women in Grenville. I've never broadcasted it. I started the program with a few women, providing $500 of my own money to help young women who came to me and asked me to 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 help them start their own business. One wanted to make watermelon and stuff. So I'm very involved because I believe in the young people home. But we have to get the community involved. We have to get to the people. As I said, listen, you have boards and you have boards and you have all these boards. As I say, Junior, I've been pushing this summer job program because I think it could work. I think if you provide a job, the opportunity for every secondary school child in Grenada who is of working age, who wants to work during the summer.
Right.
As I say, you have about 2,000 of them. This
Right.
program would cost the government maybe about $1 million. You could raise that in the CBI program. Now, you're
If I
not
if
only
I if I
providing
if I
jobs
if
in
I
that
could if
8 weeks, you're providing a job skill because you'll be putting them in area that where they plan to go to work in the future, at the airport, hospitals, and you get the private sector involved. You work
if
with
I
the law
couldn't
firm.
if I could interject here,
Go ahead, Killa.
brother, as I say, sometimes I get really passionate, and at this moment, I sit in here, brother, and all my skin racing. You know why? All of this talk and all of this back and forth, Junior. If we really want to do this, we can do it.
Right.
This is not impossible. You understand what I'm saying? This is not impossible. You see, if we really want to do it, and as somebody said, oh, people in Grenada does not want to work. Now, if you have been training our youth to be lazy, remember, you don't have to teach a child to think negative. You don't have to teach a child to lie. You leave a child in a room, he touch the television, he throw down something, and you come back and you say, who throw down daddy? He go say, I don't know. You understand what I'm saying? Did you throw it down? He watch you, he say, no, he just lie. You didn't teach him how to lie. You see? No, you have to teach that child, don't matter what it is, you have to tell me the truth. You see? So then now there is a mindset that you have to do that. One time, I was about 7 years. I take $1. Them time the Grenada have a gold dollar. Right? I took $1. My mother beat my sister. She beat my she beat my brother, my next brother, in front of me, and she knows me what if the dollar in. And it was a lesson to show me that if you do something like that, it can harm not just you, but your family and the people that you love. You understand what I'm saying? That was a lesson that I learned. And as I grow older, the licks that I get that time, I never want to touch anybody else's thing again because that was instilled. So if we have been playing with our youth and not pushing that type of mindset of success by work, into their mind, but they sit down in front of a phone and then success by thief, success overnight is what they are seeing, then how do you want them to have a mindset to really work? And
Fact.
And
then
that,
we also, and the next thing, we cannot just say that about youths because sometimes we try to push youths into sectors which they are not talented in, which they are not interested in. Because if we have enough, which one time when the World Bank was here, I did a project called Options, right? A presentation called Options. I live in Ingwov, right? And they had about those kind of things like that and abuse of the ocean. And I said, how can you then want to solve this problem when there is not enough options? Because there are fishermen that wants to be artists. Where is the studio for them to go and express their talent? You understand? Where is that place that cradles their talent? There might be children, right, who wants to be photographers, videographers. They have that talent, they have that skill. Now, where do they go to further that skill? What houses them? You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So if there is options and infrastructures in place, brother, then you will have more talented people being fitted into their sector that they are interested in. Also,
Absolutely. Right.
not only that, Junior, let me just add,
Hold on, Dennis. Hold on one second. Just hold your thought real quick. I had a call on the line. Let's get that input from the caller real quick. Caller, live, where you calling us from? Unmute your device.
Pleasant afternoon, Junior.
Hey, caller.
Mr. Denison George, afternoon. Mr. Killa, afternoon.
blessed.
This is a program that's very necessary, right? And I know Mr. George has been doing a lot for Grenada ever since, right? Mr. Killa, you too. But what I want to highlight, Junior, is the fact that it is necessary to have some societal deterrence for crime, because at the end of the day, as much as we would like to do, we would educate people, we would do all sorts of programs, but there will still be bad apples among us. Now, this is where the judiciary comes in, and it has to be effective and efficient. Now, in Grenada, there has been a pattern over decades, and it has developed, it has turned into an ugly monster that we now face, where even victims, including myself, where we have no faith, we have no reason to have faith in the Royal Grenada Police Force. Now, there are many persons who are scared to report gun violence and so forth, or the illegal possession of arms and ammunition and all sorts of weapons, in fear that it would not be confidential, that the police would actually speak to the perpetrator or whatever it is, and the person who makes the report, they will in turn become the victim. Now, in many cases, over the years, and most recently, what we continue to see is that the police are doing nothing. I mean, the reality is, Junior, probably 8 o'clock in the day, in 8 p.m., 7 p.m. sometimes, the police stations are closed around Grenada. The only station you might get open is Central Police Station.
Right.
And
It's the radio station.
the Carnage.
Right.
These stations are closed. We don't have officers on the streets patrolling.
Right.
Even in a situation like this.
Let me ask you a question. Is it safe to say? Is it safe to say that the RGPF is doing nothing when we're seeing that they have such a high rate of solving crime? So the rank and file of the police force seem to be solving the crime. There was a recent gun crime that occurred in Grenada, which was a mass shooting, right? We just found that these two men were taken into custody, and they have a very high success rate in terms of capturing the perpetrators.
That's one out of how many? That's one out of how many? Even today, we still trying to figure out where Mr. Cletus St. Paul is. Mr. Claudius St. Paul, Tittery from Gov, who disappeared since 2013. And there are many more cases like these that people are not aware of. But what we see is a boastful police force claiming that they have a high percentage of solving rate and so forth. And then we have a commissioner of police who has admitted publicly that his job is beyond his competency level. Right? Now, what is happening, Junior, is that even the judiciary, when it comes to the magistrates and the courthouses and so forth, they need to actually step up. They need to strengthen the laws to protect we the people, the innocent people, right? For instance, the last case that we had there with the three criminals who possibly raped and killed the two people on the yacht. These people were already convicted, and based on the crimes, right, especially when it comes to rape and these kind of things, it is my personal opinion that these people should not get bail for these crimes, especially when they're repeat offenders.
Yeah, but that's not the police. But that's not the police. That's not the police. That's not the police.
No. I'm speaking about the judiciary now. I change over from the police.
Right.
I change over from the police, and I went to the magistrates and the people making the laws. And I would even go as far as to say the police as well, because our police force has the prosecution department. And these are the persons who are aware of the failures of the law that we have in Grenada. These are the people who are supposed to sit and represent the victims in the courthouse, Junior. The police.
Junior, let me just.
Yeah. Okay. Denison want to get off.
Let me just say this. Listen,
yeah.
I am not into the police bashing or of criticizing the police. I'm not saying they are perfect. Let me just say this. There was a time in Grenada we didn't need police because people in the community used to do it themselves. Okay, the best police officers in Grenada was community people. Everyone in the community had a part to play in the raising of children, the rearing of children. Everyone in the community had a part to play in what took place in the community. and we have to get back to that. Building mansions in Grenada and digging the biggest wall to keep you away from your neighbors, it's not. It's just leading to a separation in society and a separation into community relationship. Now, let me just say this, Junior. Yes, we have to have deterrence. We cannot continue to have Richmond Hill Hotel the way it is. First of all, let me just say this to you. This didn't just happen in Grenada overnight. It's going to take a while to get to the bottom of it and to make changes that would bring some kind of, but you have to bring young people into the fold. You have to, let me tell you something, Junior. Grenada has become a society and people are playing their blind to it. If you have no connection, you have nothing. There is so much people in Grenada who has no connection. Even to go to clear a barrel on the port, you have to have connections. The simplest thing you want to do in Grenada to get a license to renew you to get this, you have to have connections. And there is a lot of people who in Grenada who feel they don't count and they don't matter and they feel they're not being heard. And you know, Junior, somebody, you're a New Yorker, you know, when we had the highest, when youth was burning down Los Angeles during the riots, all studies prove that when you have no stake in what's happening, when you feel you don't own nothing, when you feel you don't own nothing, you would burn it down because you have nothing to care
Nothing.
about. A lot
Time.
of young people in Grenada feel they have nothing to care about, and that's why I'm not saying all. Now listen to me carefully. Half of St. George's have no water, but the St. George's
Bro,
University have water. Have you ever been to the University School of the SGU?
Yeah.
When half of St. George's have no water, they have water. When St. George's have no electric current, they have electric current. And I say, when I go to that place, I say, why the hell the rest of Grenada can't look like this place? All the perks and stuff that is there, all this place is so well developed for the people. The government have to start caring. Giving government workers a raise is fine, but the man who don't have a job, who is down on the street, he gets no raise and he gets no job. So what I'm saying is that the government have to come up with a plan to reach the young men on the street who feel they have nothing to lose.
Right.
Grenada has gone too
so
far to who you know, who you're friends with,
Right.
and there is a lot of people who have no friends with no one, who's no one to get any kind of opportunity. And what they do, they feel they have nothing to
Nothing.
lose.
Your point, that's
And
the point taken. But Killer, you seem to say something on this one.
so I'm standing in the middle here because on the caller side of you, we definitely need deterrence, and also when come to the police force, because you know some people that be afraid to speak about that. We have some good police and we have some bad police. And we have some police that sees Grenada as a very easy place to work. And when coming down to being that person to connect with society, connect with the community, they have no interest on it. They have no interest when come to community. And when come to the police force, we have to have a better culture of community policing. I remember when you had people as the medico and all of those kind of people back in the day. When the men come into the community, there is that respect. You understand what I'm saying? Whether they could walk into the ghetto them alone, you see what I'm saying? And they will talk to people and have that communication, and somebody will give them respect. But you hardly find that these days. You know what I mean? And so I feel that there is a missing link. Also, like we need a buffer. And I know that they had a couple groups that it was putting together to be that buffer between the community and the police, because it's like you start to have a feeling where the community don't like the police and the police don't like the community, when really and truly a community without police will be a lawless community. So we need law and order in our community. You understand what I'm saying? So we need the police, but we need the police to have an understanding of where they are working, what the country needs, and to have that type of application to society. It's the same way, just like how all them youths and them coming out of school and they gambling, whatever it is, and where and they gather in a certain way. They're supposed to have some sort of presence that can reach out, that can talk to them. There was instances, I remember when they blocked the road. I end up getting all kind of bad name. You know, they didn't treat it in a way where they come back and say, well, all right, Killer, Thank you very much for coming out, being a part, and being that buffer between us and the community so we could not have a riot. You understand what I'm saying?
Hmm.
They just swept that under the rug. I didn't appreciate that. You understand what I'm saying? Because when people looking at it from on the outside, it looked like, you know what I mean? It looked bad. So when you think about the times after that, I said to them, let us now build a relationship between the police, between the ghetto, between community, not just the police. When you don't talk to the police
All right, we lost Killa there, and we'll get Killa back.
Lester.
Okay, okay, you're back. Yeah, go ahead,
So when
Killa.
you try to call me, I'm sure.
Okay, no, okay.
Yeah, well, Junior, let me just say, I'm seeing everyone saying what's the solutions. Let me give you some
Yeah. Now,
solutions.
we want to talk solution. Hold on one second. Let me just end this caller here. And I want to get to the solution. I want to save this for the last because you said something that's very important there, Denison. And I want to drill down on it. Let me just finish with this caller. We'll get the solution. And yeah, okay, we get the solution. Caller, wrap up
Yeah,
what you were saying, caller. Okay, Killer, wrap up what you were saying. We go to the caller.
yeah,
We go to the
yeah.
solution.
So I was saying, well, I said, let us have some community meetings in the ghetto.
Right.
Listen to what they have to say. Hear the cries of the male, the female, the children. You know what I mean? So you understand what their problem is. So you have a better understanding how to help solve that. You understand what I'm saying? But none of that never happened. None of that never happened. So I am asking, are they really interested engaging with the community? But if you call them something wrong or you watch how they will deal with a busman or whatever it is for a seat belt and those kind of things like that, very rough sometimes, very angry, you know what I mean? Rambo style sometimes. So I know definitely there is a this link between community, between the way that we police sometimes, and then we have times we need certain force to be there, and it is not there also. So yes, we have problems when come to that. I'm not saying that they are not doing their jobs completely, but there is some sort of education that is still needed between policing and our community. I think we have lost that.
Point
And
taken.
we need to build back that. We definitely need to build back that.
Let's wrap up with a caller here. Caller, wrap up your point. So I want to move on to some of the solution that we have on the table. Caller, you there? Okay, we lost that caller. But okay, so Dennis, go ahead with some of the solution because
Okay.
one of the things that you said, right? One of the things that you said that make real sense to me, right? That two-prong approach. First, we have a situation where there are people who are deeply rooted into the gangs. They are there. They are in some kind of high-ranking position or so, right? And then there are people who are attracted to joining the gang. If we look at it from a two-prong approach, where one, we sort of create a buffer between avoiding those young people from being attracted to the gang, and then we have law enforcement put some severe penalties on those who already in the gang. So then we
Be-
kind of
Before be- before you jump in, sorry to cut,
That's
but I
okay.
also want to say this. When come to Grenada,
uh-huh.
and we're speaking about gangs, we have to be very careful because yes, there might be little gangs,
Right.
little groups here and there, but really and truly, Grenada is a place we used to function as a family. So
Yeah.
when you look at what is happening here, is some of the times it's not gang violence. Some of the times it's tough violence because it becomes area. I am from Guelph, and there is a team, youth men who are liming in another part, Granans, and you have town. So the Granans fellas is who playing football together, they liming together, them in that community together. When something go wrong with one, they all going to defend each other.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So a
Yeah.
lot of the times it's not just gang, it's just that affiliation. You understand? It's not like, because when you think about gangs, some of them they have the codes, they have the way. And I'm saying there is little circles like that. But a lot of things that was happening recently is not just because of gang, it's because of territory. You understand? A man from Tong followed with a man from Granans, and a man from Granans followed with a man from Grenville, and a man from Grenville followed with a man in Guap. Automatically, Guap and Grenville in one. You understand what I'm saying? Because we still do function in the little pockets in community because that is what we know as family. It's the same thing you say you come and go off and you hit me. Then the whole are go off fighting. It's not a gang, it's the whole are go off.
But
You understand?
brother Killa, you always had that, I remember my father used to always say, when a bus was traveling over to over Moya Bridge, everybody had to come down and take a planas and get back on the bus. We always had the elevation. The elevation now is that you have
Yeah,
guns. You have guns involved. I remember
exactly.
when old men used to fight in Grenada as a child. They used to rub the cutlass on the ground and they ain't cutting nobody. They pelting a stone, what you call grand charge, and the stone
Yeah.
will fall. But now you have a deadly weapon in the mix, which is guns. Now, Junior, what I'm saying, listen, solutions. I said we talked about the summer school program for secondary school children. The other thing we have to do, we have to have strict deterrence. Strict deterrence. When it comes to gun, I think Grenada need what you call a strict liability law when it comes to gun. No excuse. No excuse. It's the same kind of strict liability law when it comes to having sex with a minor.
Right.
You have a strict liability law when it comes to gun. No excuse with a mandatory sentence. 10 years at Richmond Hill Hotel. And that would be the first deterrent effect. Now you have to tighten up goods coming into Grenada. You understand? You have to tighten up at the ports. You have to tighten up at the airports. You have to tighten up at the shores to make sure that everything is such. You're not going to get every gun, but you would get it would be better than what is happening right now. Third, Junior, you have to have young people give them some kind of hope for the future. Okay, let me just say this to you. I'm in the US. I see every day so many young Grenadians coming to the US to study. I was shocked. Most of the young people that come here, they were born here to wealthy parents.
Right.
You'll be surprised how many young kids from Grenada who come here to study are American. They were born here. Their Grenadian parents came to the United States and had them as babies. Now there is a lot of young people in Grenada who want to come to the US to study, who want to go to England to study. They finish secondary school, they get their subjects, but they can't because they don't have the connection. And that's where the government have to come in and create an office to help young people get visas. And I'm sure if the government take the initiative, the United States embassies would grant these visas. So I'm saying you have all these politicians and all these people telling the young people stay in Grenada and think, but their children is going abroad because their children was born abroad. So you need to have the government have to have an agency working within the Ministry of Education to help secure visas and for young people who want to go abroad and study. So when you leave GBSS or SAS with 7 or 8 subjects, you don't have to end up going and take some kind of minimal job and your whole dream of becoming a mechanical engineer or IT dies with you. Number 3, let me just say this, Junior. What we have up there is not a prison, it's a hotel. And if you asked me a long time ago, this prison is sitting on Grenada best piece of real estate. And it's time that it's moved. It's going to take a while, but I would move that prison to a government estate where there is land for prisoners to work. You understand? It might take a while to build a new prison, but this prison is sitting on our best piece of real estate, and they have the best view from that prison up there. Move the prison to our estate where government have land, so that when these prisoners get up in the morning, they could grow food to feed the hospitals, they could grow food to feed the nursing home, they could grow food to feed the schools. And if a man go into prison and he become a good farmer, then you lease him an acre of crown land. You understand? But what we have the so-called prison is an open door. It's an open door system.
Right.
You have people. Look at this. As the caller said, the people that killed the 2 people on the yacht was out on bail after so much, committing such heinous crimes. In that should not happen. You remember the case with the little boy, Junior, that we fought here in the U.S.
Yes.
You have to have changes in the judiciary. That's very, very important. You cannot have people committing these kind of crime and then coming out the next week on bail.
But
You
but but
understand?
you're a lawyer. You're a lawyer, right?
The judiciary have a great, great part to play
Right.
in
But you are a lawyer, right? And you know very well that in cases where you have a defense attorney, and the defense attorney, like Jerry Edwin or any other defense attorney, they would look at the law and what a person that is is well, they say is innocent until proven guilty, right? So there are laws that would accept someone to get a bail because of the severity of the allegation, because it's still allegation. So how could you take away that right from someone to grant them bail? Where does that have to go back to? Does it have to go back to the parliament for them to enact that, or
Listen,
how is it implemented?
you're making. Don't forget what I said, Junior. You're making owning a firearm a strict liability crime.
Okay,
That's strict liability. No excuse.
okay,
So yes, everyone has a right to have bail, but you shouldn't have bail when you commit such a violent rape on someone in St. Andrews prior to committing rape again. That's madness. That's not bail. Remember, judges have the discretion to set bail, to grant bail or not. And one of the criteria that is used when granting bail, a judge must take into consideration: will you commit another crime when you're on bail? You are flight risk. Now, if you have somebody committed such a serious rape in Grenada, why the hell they deserve to have bail a second time? And and you give them bail the first time, the second time they committed more crimes. So what I'm saying, you need changes in the judiciary
right,
and once we have stiffer sentences for people who are caught with illegal guns, it will be a deterrent. If you know you're going to jail for 10 years, if you are caught with a gun, you would think twice before owning one. I
right.
honestly believe that, unless you feel you have nothing to lose.
Let's jump to the call and go back to Killa. I know Killa is itching to say something on that as well. Caller live, where you calling us from?
Hi, good evening. I'm calling from Boston.
Boston, go right ahead.
Hi, Killa. Hello,
Blessed,
Mr.
blessed, good
Denison.
evening.
I have two questions.
Go
Good
ahead.
evening. I have two questions to ask. My first question is, and Junior, I had asked that question before. If I grew up in the United States, born in Grenada, grew up in the United States, been in a gang since I'm 13, being in trouble in and out of jail, they decide to deport me back to Grenada. What do you think I'm going to be doing in Grenada since I left Grenada, say 9 years old?
Right.
What job am I going to be doing in Grenada? If I'm a gang member up here and I'm selling drugs, selling guns, and committing crimes, what do you think I'm going to do when I go back to when I get deported to Grenada?
But Grenada don't have a
My
choice.
next question is,
Grenada don't have a choice in that instant. If the U.S. decide to deport them back, Grenada had to accept them.
no.
They don't
I
have
don't
okay,
understand. What
even
I'm
if
asking is,
but even if they don't have a choice, they're supposed to have a program. You
Right.
understand what I'm saying? Because if you coming back to my country
mm-hmm,
as a seasoned criminal, above the methods and
mm-hmm,
activity that my country is used to, or my youth is used to, I have to make sure that you ain't coming here to influence that. So
Right.
then automatically they're supposed to have a program in place where then you are watched, or we find some part for you to play, have a program of talking to youth or wherever it is, whatever community project then I can put you in, because I need to deal with you special. And I don't want to put you on a program whereby I frustrate you or you frustrating me. So then how can we make sure, you understand, you as the deportee coming home, and me as a country, how are we going to be friends? How are you going to be positive to this community?
Interesting. Make it next point, caller.
okay. So now there's okay, I'm going to use Boston as an example, but it's actually Grenada.
Right.
I would say me. I am a well-known drug dealer, gun carrier, or gun seller. Now, the police force now is coming to raid my house. And when they come to my house, they get nothing. Does that mean that someone on the police force tipped me off? You think about it.
Well, I would say that's a hard question because this could go two ways. It's either somebody tipping you off or you smart enough. You understand what I'm saying? to function a certain way. But I get what you're saying. I get where you're coming from, because enough of that we just hear about, on the ground. Um, but as we have said so much things come up to this topic here. What I want to say is this: the older people always say prevention is better than cure, and we had a lot of time to try to prevent, you understand, this at this magnitude, because I am sure they had people on the blocks, because I just still stop on the blocks. That's why I said earlier on, my friends, bridges that I would know, people that would call me, fans, whatever it is, I ask them to please find a way to assist, because you've been on the blocks and you're talking to them and they want things to do, they want way out, but there is no engagement. You have some of them literally just go to try certain things and there is no engagement also. So as a country, that is why I said earlier on, we have to fix this and have the right methods in place. From the police force, the police force also have some of their own problems that they need to fix, and I hope that they would fix it, because I have a lot of police brethren, friends too, that just be complaining. Them themselves need to be, treated right. And they need their run, they need their things too. You know what I mean? So we have problems left, right, and center. So unless we don't have, either we put a team together from government level to start to look at all of these sectors and make sure that people in position do what they're supposed to do and reach out into the community, because I am sorry for our youths. Our youths need, because you will say, oh, but why they doing this and why they doing that? But if they don't know different, how you want them to do different? A man cannot give you what he doesn't have. He cannot explain what he does not understand. You understand? And he cannot express sometimes what he doesn't feel. So we need to find a way to infiltrate the minds of the youths and to draw them in. Two youths came by me. They also wanted to buy guns. You understand? When I meet them, the first thing they talking about, what? But hey, but this is gun. I like this gun, by and this and that. You understand? Now they come around me in the pandemic, and that is when I tell you, from since before that, I hearing all this talk about thing and guns and and all of that. And I hear them talking, and their mind is to buy guns. During the pandemic, I say, all right, I there around them and I have certain conversation with them. And I start to break it down to them that when you get into that space, whether you thief, whether you do this, whether you do that, life is a circle that it will come back to you. That what you do, it is marked, it is written in the universe. The universe will give it back to you. That's why they say, how you make your bed, so shall you lie. The things that you think, they say, so as a man thinketh, so shall he be. So when you start to break those things down for them and understand certain elements of life and the energies of life, before you know it, lower down the road, I give them money. You know what they do? They go and buy a laptop. You know, go and buy guns. And I monitor just to see what they would do. You know, because the mindset started to change. I found a way how to infiltrate that. You see? So when you take, as you take, you would lose someday to come. The story never ends well. And when somebody start playing that in their mind and start understanding that a youth man might look into a different direction. But if they are not taught that, then they are just blank.
True. 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 We got another caller on the line real quick. Caller, where you calling us from?
In Toronto.
Toronto, go right ahead.
Yes, I'm calling something that George had said, Dennis had said, which is true. Um, when I was growing up home, and I'm talking about growing up in the 60s and so on, they also had people were afraid to come to Paradise because it was a bad place. But Paradise people was afraid to go to Tivoli, all because of little dispute between
Communities.
a man of another and woman or some kind of thing like that,
Right.
or
Yes.
a team playing a soccer game and the team is better and this one is thing, and then a fight broke out, and those things used to happen. Those things were not gangs. It was just a rivalry thing. Who is better at doing what?
Right.
Now, the other part I want to mention, the issue of gun in Grenada. People have to realize the most civilized a country becomes, there would always be an increase in things like violence and crime. Because when I was growing up, I never saw a gun. We heard about guns. You were not even seeing guns on a police officer.
True.
Now, guns is prominent. Okay, we have to take in consideration the social media right now. This thing has a lot to do with social media because kids are engraved in cell phones and these different things. Sometimes when these things happen, we tend to put the focus on the government. Yes, the government needs to find ways in which to educate and help kids, but no matter to how much they do, those things would always exist. It exists here in Canada. It exists in the States, and they call these things what? First world countries. And they have all sorts of things to educate and to help. But it happens. We would get those things back home. We have to be realistic. And we tend to, everything for the government has to do this, the government has to do. Yes, they do. But the thing starts in the home. What's about the parents? We tend to put all the blame on the government. Sometimes people let the children go. 15-year-old and 14-year-old. I couldn't do it when I was growing up. But even when I was growing up, I know there were 13 and 14-year-old friends of mine that was going in partying, Simone and all these different places and coming up, all kind of parents didn't care. So charity begins at home. It starts in the home.
Yes, I
The
agree.
churches need to do more too. The police need to do more, but there's only so much they can do. We have to stop putting the focus only on the government because when citizens see that, they feel, well, I don't have to discipline my children. I don't have to, because they forget that is Junior George's child.
Right.
Oh, that's my child. But you know something? The law, the police, the government become the parent. So I don't have much
Right.
responsibility for those children. We have to focus on where it starts.
Starts. Yeah,
I grew up in
absolutely.
a home with a okay-sized family, and
Yes.
none of us can. None of us ever ended up in prison. None of us ever ended up getting arrested. It all depends on the home that you come from because there are certain things we could not do because our parents stood for certain things.
Right.
Right?
True.
And it was embedded in us.
Yes.
Okay, if this is what you do, this is what you think.
Right.
I have a young grandson.
Caller, you have to wrap it up a
And
bit
because
because
of
we kind
social
of running
media,
a little
one
bit
of
over time.
the
Just
days, what we
caller.
found, he was looking at and distributing out there, which was shocking coming from a home where he was trained.
Right.
And then we realized it is the cell phone. I say to the parents, take away the cell phone. You have to know what these kids are looking at. And as much as we do, they will still find a way around it because they are friends. So we have to put the blame first at the home level. Because no
Right.
matter what programs you come up with,
Right.
some would adhere to it, and most would not
Okay.
adhere to it.
All right,
We
caller.
have to be.
Well, Junior, let me just say this, Junior.
All right, caller.
Grenada don't have
Caller.
gas.
Caller.
They
Caller.
have little
Caller.
groups
Caller.
who-
Thank you so much. We have to wrap it up. We have to wrap up this
Junior,
segment.
let me just say this.
All right. Yeah. Very important point there, caller. Denison, go right ahead.
Yeah, let me just say this to you, Junior. I heard what the caller said, yeah? But let me just say this to you. We know where the guns is coming from. It's coming from America. Grenada recently joined Mexico and other Caribbean countries suing the gun manufacturers in America. We know where the guns are coming from. They're coming from America. We know what is causing the problem in Grenada recently, gun violence.
Right.
Now, what I'm saying is that to stop the guns from flowing into the country, we have to tighten enforcement at the port. Yes, Grenada doesn't have the type of money to purchase the right screening machines. We have to put pressure on the U.S. government to increase screening, better screening before these containers. We know they're coming in containers. We know they're coming in on boats. Yes, there is corruption on all level. I'm sure there is corruption in the Royal Grenadian Police Force. And you have to try to weed out those that are corrupt. Now, the police have to also be retrained. Because to me, what is happening in Grenada is far advanced than the police capabilities. Now you have to retrain the police force to deal with what is happening today. Because I honestly believe they are not properly trained, they are not properly equipped in terms of yes, they're solving crimes, but they have when you're dealing with gangs and guns and violence, and Junior, I have a degree in criminal justice and law and order. You have to be ahead
Right.
of the gangs. You have to be ahead of the criminals. You have to be able to outthink them, to out
Interception of devices and everything.
definitely. Now listen, Grenada is a small place. What I think the government should do, and everybody's saying you can't blame the government. Yes, you can't blame the government is not responsible for raising our children. The public is not responsible, but when something happens, it affects the public. So regardless of what you're saying, no, well, listen, I would create an office, an outreach office, a gang outreach office, or you don't even have to be called gang. Grenada is very small. You could walk around St. George's in one day. And I would send this outreach team of people, well trained, to talk to every young man in St. George's, every young man in Grenville, every young man in Sates, Guam. Approach them, find out what their problem is, what is affecting you, how can we help you. It takes maybe one day to speak to every young man in St. George's. Go to them, bring it to them.
I saw just did that about 15 years now.
You know what I'm
About
saying, Mr.
15, about 15 years now, I suggest that. And it's the same thing I was just talking about when we had that problem in Guava. I said, come to the ghetto. Even if I have to stand there and be that buffer where I connect, you know what I mean? The ghetto to the street and I mean the ghetto to the force and to whoever it is, government at whatever level. Because bro, I still stop and sit down in the ghetto. I still sit down on every block. All them block you hear fighting and who fighting wherever it is. I sure I have friends in each and every one of them. Because I still love my ground. I still love my country. You understand? And I want to say this. Charity begins at home and it ends abroad. Yes, there is some parents that will try their best with their kids, but they make children and they don't make their mind. You see? And then you have some people, they just Lego their children. I know you have some people I meet, the parents don't do nothing for them more than make them, drop them wherever, and they have to fight to make it. Other people take care of them. And they are good kids. They are good kids. So whoever has give them the little influence, they hang on to it. So sometimes you don't make people mind. But when things are happening in a community, that is why they say take a community to grow a child. Because when a mother and a father have to hustle, especially in this time, because everything open, cost of living in this place not easy, brother. You ever go to the supermarket? In this last day and age here, how much things cost. Everybody had to try to hustle. So when a mother leave home 6 o'clock in the morning, try to get to her job, and she coming back home after 5 in the evening, who that child with all day, whole day? Is school and the community. You see? So if we have a certain type of movement and a certain type of culture, I will say this and I will say this publicly. I like guns. I like hunting. I like shooting sports. I like all of those things. They call it boys' games. From since I was a child. You see? But I don't want an illegal gun. I don't want an illegal firearm. I want to make sure that I work hard, and if I have to own a firearm, it is for my own protection because of my business and what I do. You understand what I'm saying? So it's all about a mindset. If I wake up in the morning, I don't think about shooting somebody. I don't think about robbing somebody. And I will tell you this: Grenada always had guns. But we had men of different quality and different mindset. You see, Grenada always had guns. No, we don't have the amount of guns right now because after the revolution, we had real old soldiers and real men that had it, that still had the thing, had the old 38 and have the old AK-47 berry and have the this and have the that. Grenada always had guns. But we never used to have gun crimes because of the principle of men, the principle of Grenadians. You understand what I'm saying? We would not go there. But now we have a lawless kind of mindset that is being grown in the society. You see what I'm saying? So now it's a whole different picture. And as my brother say here, we have to now be trained. You see, to deal with that, and we have to be up to speed. We have to catch up quick. because this has been growing. So the mind has been training. How do you break them out of that?
Right.
How?
Right.
And
Junior,
the only way you could do that, you have to now go in deep and you have to have a dread movement to engage them, to help them move from A to B, to help them. Because listen, I know some young people also trying to do their little businesses. But when they bring in a little something on the port, my brother, the charges on the port, they die. So before you know it, and before a little turnover could happen, the little business that they start up, how much businesses have started up over the last couple of years? Because it's also a movement of starting your own business now, online businesses, this and that, right? And they're trying it. But how much of them has been successful? You see? Because the charges that we have on the port, the way that things is expensive, all of those things, we have to cradle them, pull them in and find ways how to help them navigate. There was one of them fellas in the ghetto. They say they went to the government. There was a little place, you know what I mean, close to where the ghetto is. They wanted to set up some things and the place just there. And all they want is help and like access so they could, you know what I mean, do this thing and do arts and do shops or whatever it is. And no help. So they would call me Killer Boy, way you can help us there, whatever it is, but it's not my place. I cannot help them. But the
Right.
people that could help them, not helping them the same way. So we have to look at all of those things. But I would say to solve this problem, we have to deal with it as a nation from all angles. Each and every different sector have to put their head together. But in this, we need anything you have to do in a country. You need strong force and relationship, and we need leadership.
Right. Right.
Junior, I saw one of the Veronica. She keeps stressing, oh, what's the solution to the gun violence?
Right.
And she keep asking, no, she's not hearing any solution. Veronica, what I believe the solution to solving this gun problem is government first have to make changes in the law. Right now, the law stand if you're catch with an illegal firearm in Grenada, you face a possibility of 5 years in prison. As I say to you, the first way you're gonna end that, you're gonna change the law. Make illegal the ownership of illegal firearm a strict liability crime with a mandatory of 10 years in prison. Okay, that's the
Mm.
first thing you have to do. You change the laws. Grenada is a small place. The government could afford to print a couple 100,000 flyers and make sure it distributed to every home in Grenada, giving anyone who has an illegal firearm, you have 30 days to turn it in before the law takes effect. Understand? Then you create a special task force within the Royal Grenadian Police Force to go on the hunt to look for illegal firearms. Okay? So that's the first thing you do. You change the law. Now you move to prevention. And when you to deal with prevention in getting young people to give up the idea of owning a firearm, you need community mobilization. You need to mobilize the community to work together, to report. You know, I see things happening in Grenada and everybody's saying it's not my business. And it's not your business until it explodes and everybody start being affected. Oh, I don't want to call the police, it's not my business. No, you got to stop that. You know, this is responsible for a lot of serious crimes taking place in Grenada, where everybody's minding their own business.
Right.
You hear a woman getting beaten next door and you say, that's not my business. That's she and she husband's business. This is not happening. Let me tell you something, my brother. There is something in criminal justice called a broken window effect.
Yes.
When you have a house, Junior, and you have one window broken and you don't fix it, and you have the second window broken and you don't fix it, and then the third window is broken and you don't fix it, there goes the entire house. So you need community mobilization where you get the community involved, you know, to engage young people, to report any kind of activities they are suspect that could lead to the coming apart of the community. Then you need to create what you call opportunity provisions. Create opportunities for young people. As I talk about my summer school program, you know, implement a summer school program to engage young people now,
Right.
secondary school children of working age. Give them that apprenticeship program. You understand? Then you create opportunities. Let me tell you, Junior, every company that is doing business in Grenada, and you know I have family that does a lot of business in Grenada, I would go to any one of these companies and say, before you get a government contract, you have to hire 10 young people, or you don't get that contract. If you want a government contract to do work, to do construction, to do anything, you have to hire 20 people. You have to hire 10 persons here and 10 persons. And if you don't do that, you don't get the contract. So you have to what you call opportunity provision. You have to create opportunities for young people. You have to give them a seat on the table. You have Grenadians complaining about Grenelec and Nawasa. Everybody complaining their water bill is too high, but all the people on the board of Nawasa and Grenelec are big shots. And the poor people who have to struggle with the bill, none of them is on the board. So they don't have a seat on the table. You have to give the voice to the people who are voiceless. You understand? And third, you need social intervention. Social intervention, you need the churches are involved. You need organization involved. You need, the Rotary Club, whatever organization in Grenada, and whether it's an organization, you create organization. And then third, you need suppression and generalization. Suppression means you suppress the gangs. You suppress what is causing people, young people, to want to choose that kind of life over that kind of life. So whatever that fourth, if it's unemployment, you try to create employment for young people. If it's skills training they does not have, you try to create skill training. As I say, I see a lot of young people, brilliant young people in Grenada, who want to go abroad and study, but they can't get a visa. And I'm sure the government could create an office to assist in getting them these visas to go abroad and study.
Why they can't get they can't get a
But they don't
visa?
have a bank statement. The parent can't prove they're making enough money to send them abroad.
They may have a bad criminal record.
But I'm not even talking. I'm talking on the young secondary people who are fresh out of Tam Sisi.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying, Junior?
I got you.
And so that's when it comes. So you need that four-prong approach. You understand? Community, faith-based organization, and you need stricter laws.
Absolutely.
You have to give people hope. When young people don't feel they don't have a stake in this, they don't care if the house burned down because they have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people in Grenada, young people in Grenada, who right now believe they have nothing to lose. And Junior, what make it worse? They're seeing Grenadians coming from abroad, buying up properties, living the big life. I hear everybody complaining. I heard one politician saying, "Oh, this rise in violence, people is not gonna come for carnival." Who give a hell about coming for carnival? I don't care about who is coming for carnival. I care about that woman in Paraclete who have to walk to Maribo to get to the hospital for a job and who are now frightened to walk from Paraclete to Maribo. I care about that poor woman up in Upwood to St. David's who are frightened to walk down the road. That's who I care about. Grenada needs to be better for Grenadians.
Right. Okay.
And not catering to only foreigners and what foreigners. And yes, when I say foreigners, I mean Grenadians abroad. We have to cater to the people home. If we could have water at the SGU campus 24 days, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days in a year, why the hell we can't have water in Montut and Monjelu? Why? Because you know what? The people at SGU care about who lives there.
Right.
And the government don't care about the people. But when you care about them, you're going to get a different answer. Create an organization to go out and talk to young people. St. George's is small. Have some kind of within the ministry. You have a outreach set of well-trained individuals. Go to the corners. Speak to the young men. What is ailing you? What is your problem? Tell me what is going on. How can we help? How could we approach you? What can we do for you?
Yes.
Every one of them is going to be receptive. But
let's jump to the call real quick. We got our last caller on the phone line. Let's just jump to this call real quick, and we'll come back to some of the final conclusion to this conversation. Caller, I'd make it brief.
Right. Very brief. Yeah, my apologies. I got cut off earlier.
Yes.
There's a lot of focus placed on the community and the parents and individuals and so forth. But we have to remember that the ordinary citizen does not possess any authority to go into the ports and search barrels and containers and so forth. We're paying people to do that, civil servants to do that. That's the police and customs, right? So the obligation, the onus is on them. So there are many families, right? Communities that take care of the children like they did in the past when I was a boy. But we don't say that there are good families, so let's exclude all families. We make a general statement and we say that families need to do their jobs. Just as the police, whether they have good police or bad police, the police need to do their jobs. I mean, Grenada does not manufacture guns, right? No one in Grenada makes guns. The guns are coming in from somewhere. Now, the judiciary needs to get serious. We have people who are out on bail for committing rape, and then they're given bail again, and then they chop, and then they get bail again, and so forth. These criminals are the ones doing all the shootings and all the violence that we see. We don't see an average citizen like Mr. Killa or Mr. Denison Judge wake up one morning and say, you know what, I'm going outside and just shoot somebody today. It's the same set of criminals that committing crimes, and the magistrates and the judges continue to give them bail. That's an issue that we have. I believe that just like America had the 3 strikes and you're out, well, not even out, you're inside forever. We need to do that in Grenada. We need to get serious. You commit 3 offenses, 3 serious offenses, you rape a woman, you rape a child, you do something that is serious, that is egregious, you're inside. That's it. You understand? You can't continue putting these criminals on the street, send them in Her Majesty's prison, put them on remand, lose documents, nobody is to be blamed, and then they outside again, continuing the same egregious crimes that they went inside for, right? We have magistrates who are saying, in my particular case, I'm speaking from personal experience, the magistrate in Grenville said to me that she's not aware of crimes that were committed by an individual, right, who she had in her court. Who is charging these people? The police are charging these people. So there's definitely a breakdown, just as we would see if anybody here is on the live and they attended anything concerning child sexual abuse. The CPA had something different to social development. In their statistics, there's no proper communication in Grenada. You know what the solution is? 3 strikes or 2 serious crimes and you're inside. And we also need God. That's what we need. We need God, right?
Yeah.
Because I mean, come on, look at what is happening and getting worse.
Yeah.
Right. So a pleasant afternoon to everybody.
Junior,
Blessings.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Junior,
Yeah.
I just saw someone said, Anne-Marie said, you guys talking about the less fortunate. You guys need to put your money where your mouth is. I want to know, I've been putting a lot of money, my own money, where my mouth is, and Mr. Killa has been doing the same. So let me just say that. Listen to me. The only thing I blame the Royal Grenadian Police Force for, Junior, they should have been better trained and better equipped, because you know what? Trinidad is right next door. And when your neighbor house is on fire, you have to prepare.
Well, how they have to be equipped by national security. They have to be equipped by government.
What I'm saying
given
is,
resources.
Trinidad has been on fire for a while, you know, and we have a lot of young Grenadians in Trinidad. You understand what I'm saying? Who has a right to come back to Grenada
Right.
because of their parents are Grenadian. So I'm just saying, I think the Royal Grenadian Police Force had enough time to really prepare,
Right.
for in case, because what is happening now, we are moving closer to Trinidad. We have to be honest. What
Right.
is happening right now. But I think they are doing, the Royal Grenadian Police is doing an excellent job in terms of this, trying to keep Grenadians safe. We are still one of the safest countries in the Eastern Caribbean. Grenada is still the safest country in the OECS. When it comes to statistics, the Royal Grenadian Police Force outperformed any one of the police forces in the OECS and in the Caribbean. But yes, in every organization, as the Royal Grenadian Police Force is, you have room for improvement. And yes, they have to improve. Yes, what we see in Grenadians, we don't like what we are seeing happen in our country today because we are not used to it. But they are doing their best, and we have to continue to work with them. When you see something is happening, don't look the other way and say it's not my business, because it's going to become your business. So
Right.
you have to work with the police. You have to work with the community. You have to work with young people. Yes, you have to engage young people. You see a young person on the street in distress, you stand up and you go to them and say, how are you? Is everything okay? How can I help? We have to get
Right.
back to that spirit of community,
Right.
Just
And
saying.
preventative, like
And preventative. Sometimes
yeah.
surprise, Junior, just a hello to someone. just approaching someone and having a little, you'll be surprised how much that person is dealing with.
Right.
How much could have been prevented if you just had the opportunity to, if you just had taken that opportunity to engage that person. So we have to have engagement going on in Grenada, not in parliament between politicians. It have to be between organization leaders. As I called years ago, Junior, remember I called for an emergency summit to bring all men together, all young men together in the park in Granville, in the Queen's Park, bringing the bankers, bringing the lawyers, bringing the clergy, bringing everyone, and let's find out what is going on with our young men and how can we help. It's all of
Right.
us problem. It's all
Absolutely.
of us, and today it is proven that it's a problem that all of us have to face, and we have to deal it together.
Yes. I believe that conversation like these need to be had. We need mentorship. We need people like Mr. Killa is coming out and speaking, and he just not just now he's speaking about mentorship, about mentoring the youths. He's been speaking about it all the way through. So there have to be more mentorship program to prevent the young people from seeing attraction into gangs. Because when they look at someone as successful as Mr. Killa, who is performing around the world and traveling all over the place and doing great things, that should be more attractive to them than somebody who is running from the law, running from another person who is running behind them with a gun and may lose their life in the process. We have to make it, we have to sell it to the youths and let the youths understand that being successful, it's a great thing. And look at different people. Let it be attracted to the lifestyle of Kirani James, Mr. Killa, even you, Denison, who doing great things outside of Grenada, and people who they could look at as mentors. And I think that that is where we need to speak up more. So in closure, Mr. Killa, I want to give some final advice, right? On what needs to be done now, not just lip service, just for the sake, but what needs to be done effective immediately. Even if you have a couple steps process in how we could get there, what's the process of eradicating this instant that we have going on right now with imbalance?
I think some of those steps we have mentioned many times throughout this program, Junior, they're hard to have a community outreach because you first have to reach those people, at least even if you engage them in a conversation to try to deter that mindset. You understand?
Right.
Or deter them from the problem that they might have. Sometimes those people need somebody that they need to talk to, some of those youths, right? It might be somebody they might explain what that problem is about, and then you could actually get into the middle of that and help, you understand, cease what that problem is. Now we have the influence of social media where you have the six gang and the seven gang and all of those things kind of happening too, which is a big influence. You understand when it comes to the youth. So we also need programs. We need mentors. You know what I mean? That can reach in the community. So I believe the community outreach programs is highly necessary.
Yes.
And then you have the police force that really need to just step up and deal with it. Grenada small. You understand? There's not much you can hide in Grenada, really and truly. You see? And then we have authority that's supposed to, as you say, have the rules and regulations that our community then supposed to follow. You know what I mean? And the laws that's supposed to guide. We have mentioned many of those things, but just now, before my phone cut off, somebody said, Denison mentioned. Somebody said in the comment, "What put your money where your mouth is?" No, during the pandemic, I almost go broke. You hear? It's 286 families I went out there and feed. I try to engage as much as I can. During the pandemic, also, it's 21 young people I paid out of my pocket. And I continue doing that where I pay young people working, training, and stuff like that for almost 3 years and a half. When I go work and pay them with money out of my pocket, somebody asks me, "Killer, are you mad?" Who does that? You understand what I'm saying? But who does that is someone that has a passion that is connected to a greater source, the Father. And he, in my head, in my mind, tell me that everything is going to be okay. I give you, I feed you, feed somebody else, give to somebody else. Continue sharing because as the best way to receive is when you give. You understand? So that part has been done. But there is some methods, Junior, that needs to kind of take place. I don't think it's a conversation for here, I would say. You know what I mean? Because there is there is some things happening. And as I say, what is about to happen, if it start happening, we are in problems. And I
Right.
wish for it not to go there. You understand what I'm saying? So there is other methods that we would like to speak about, but it's at a whole different level. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And we have to engage. There is people to yet sit down with, engage with, and have conversation with, and see if we could knock this problem to the side quickly. You know what I mean? Before it escalate into something completely different and at a level where it's going to be now passionate. You see? So this would be my 2 cents for today.
Yeah.
You know, Junior, this would be my 2 cents for
I
today.
appreciate you, Mr. Killa. And Denison George, wrap up on
Well,
immediate step.
immediate junior. Let me just say, also long term, I think the St. George's University SGU should be teaching a class in police science and make it mandatory for all police officers to attend those classes. Now, immediate. Let me tell you that I know the Royal Grenadian Police Force should know where all the hot zones are in Grenada. I would have a police station in all the hot zones in Grenada. I would have police on trucks and vans going through all the communities in Grenada, driving through every 5 minutes. You go through Paraclete, Murraybo, you come down to Gramba, you go through St. George's, up with Tooth, you go through Montooth and all Grand Anse, you go through and let people feel a sense of safety, a sense of calm. Let them see the police present. You need the community to see the police present in their community. So you should have the police out in full force, going out to the communities, talking to people, engaging the community. Now, immediately, I think the police in Grenada know who all the bad boys are. I would go to every one of those bad boys and personally give them a warning. You cause trouble, we're coming after you. We know who you are, we know where you live. I am not saying to lock up all young Grenadian men who is getting into trouble. I'm not for the imprisonment of young people in Grenada. But I'm saying I would go to every one of those bad men, and the Royal Grenadian Police Force know who is giving trouble. They know who is the bad guys. They know. And you give them a special warning. You have guns, we want you to turn it in. You don't turn it in, and when you get caught, then this is what you'll be facing. And we want you to behave. And if you don't
Right.
behave, we're coming back.
Right.
And I think something like that could immediately calm the situation. A police presence in every community could calm the situation down and create a sense of peace, you understand, and a sense of deterrent for the troublemakers. And then long term, you have to engage in the full prong approach, what I talk about, community mobilization, opportunity prevention, social intervention, and suppression.
Right.
Short term and immediate effect, law enforcement have to take control short term.
Yeah. All right.
I want to say something quick, Junior.
Yeah. Go
Very
ahead.
quick. And this is what I want to say here is for my young Grenadian brothers. And I want all you to listen to me very carefully. See this thing that they call honesty? Honesty will carry you a long way. This thing that they call honesty, sometimes we just take it for granted. But honesty, they say something where the Bible said the truth shall set you free. So sometimes you have to be truthful to yourself. Honesty in whatever you may do, try to hold on to it. You
Right.
understand? Try to hold on to honesty because it will always come back to you and it does not end good. And that is a message from a young brothers outside there. Because Junior, as I say, there is pieces of this conversation that is very unique. It is in its own pocket and it may not be for here, but they would understand this message. Honesty. Because a big part of what is happening here is because of also dishonesty. You understand what I'm saying? And when it comes down to the street and dishonesty, that is something that will swing back for you. Understand what I'm saying? So there is a crowd of people that is going to understand what I am saying. Honesty, brothers. Honesty. You
Honesty.
see?
Gotcha.
And that may save your life. You see it? It never ends well. It will come back for you.
Right. Right.
Junior, let me say this, Junior, real quick. You know, a lot of the people that we are trying to reach right now, I'm sure they're not looking at this program. I'm sure.
Well,
So,
you never know.
well,
Well,
you never know, but I'm saying we have to get on the ground. And
right.
I'm willing to go on the ground and speak to some of these people about my experience of being a victim of gun violence, of growing up in a culture of gangs. I'm willing to go on the ground, and I'm sure Mr. Killa is willing to do that. You
Yeah.
understand? So I'm
But
saying,
I would tell you, you
let's
will
get
be
it going.
surprised. You will be surprised how much of them watching it.
Yeah, you'll be
Well,
surprised. Now you'll be
You'll
I
be
hope so.
surprised
I
how much
really
of
hope
them
so.
watching it. You know
yeah.
what I mean?
So,
But as you say, it's every approach from the ground. I'm always on the ground. I never leave the ground yet. So when I leave yet at night, I'm meeting some of them. Right on my corner. You understand what I'm saying? Is big gamble what is happening. And them don't reach 30 years yet. You understand?
yeah,
And
I understand.
it's 20 something, 30 something of them. So I always on the ground. And when I leave go off and I drive out, as I tell you, it's brothers, it's brethren, some of them in situations that them themselves doesn't know how they got there.
I
You
understand.
understand what I'm saying?
Yep,
Yeah.
And
yep.
and as I say, I mentioned a while ago, big part of it too is dishonesty.
Mhm.
Man, if you're hustling on the ground, right? And you take man thing and you don't paying for it, and you're taking people things, then people also will come for you. You
Mm.
understand what I'm saying? So we have to understand some of the levels too where this thing. This have some pockets on the ground where you know what I mean. It's hard to have the discussion about it here.
Right.
It's
Right. No,
easier
I
to have
understand.
that discussion with them. You
And
understand what I'm saying? So
and
that's why when you have some people come on here and they're talking about put your money with them not on the ground. Them don't engaging with nobody. Them don't care nothing about society. Them don't understand this. You see, this discussion is sometimes to raise the heirs of some people in society that has the power to move and they are not moving. They are not doing what we are doing. They are not coming on this program to share their 2 cents because some of them don't even have the 2 cents to even share. You understand? What they do is take government money and go to work every single day. You understand? And then go home, put up their foot, relax, and don't want to do any work. We also have that problem in society. So when we have people that is in position that share ideas and don't have passion to really move and care about people, they will also end up in this kind of problem. Because I am saying how long we've been having this conversation, how long we've been talking about the youth going, how long we talk about education, how long we talk about outreach programs for the community. Is this conversation tonight is going to really help it change? We only could hope that. And that's why when I start earlier on, I said, let me speak to my brothers out there. You understand what I'm saying? And let them think about the country because I think even before the police move, I wish that my brothers could move in their mind and in their heart before we even get to that space. You see what I'm saying? Because we've been speaking to authority, we've been asking for help. And when you talk about not being heard a while ago, sometimes we do feel like that. Even if I am so popular, right? Maybe one of the most popular person Grenada has as a country, right? And sometimes I feel that my words and all doesn't even reach the people that's supposed to care. What do you leave for the youths? You think that they're listening to any youth? You think they're listening to the youths on the street? They are not. So that is part of our problem too. Upholding certain types of, and I'm not talking about just the prime minister, you know. And when I say leadership, I'm not talking about the prime minister because there is leadership come down. You understand what I'm saying? There is community leaders, there is ministers, there is people that rule that have to lead in certain sectors of the police force. There is different types of leadership. And in each and every position of leadership, they need to hold them accountable for their position.
right.
Junior, let me just say that in closing. To all the young people in Grenada who are listening to this message, let me just say this to you. It doesn't work it. Gang violence, gun violence does not work it. John Gotti was the biggest gangster in America and he died in prison. So try to find another way. There is always another way. Because in the end, you will be the biggest loser.
Well, that's a good way to end. It doesn't pay. Crime doesn't pay at all. Thank you, Mr. Killa. Thank you, Denison George, for chatting with us for this whole 2 hours. We appreciate you, my brother Killa. Stay safe and keep doing what you're doing, okay? Great.
Love, light, and blessings, Junior.
All right, big up yourself. Thank you, guys. Guys, we got a quick commercial break, and I'll come back with my final closing words. Don't move.
Everybody, only when you come in this party, all night long you harassing me. It make no sense, you got hot or funny. I know already what's going through your mind, but I ain't leaving this pussy behind. I ain't leaving it, no, I ain't leaving it. Whatever plans you have,
Folks, it's coming May 26th. That's Memorial Sunday. Calypso is back in Brooklyn, and we're bringing a show to you at 634 Remsen Avenue between Church Avenue and Avenue A. Doors open at 3 p.m. and we're going until your legs get tired, all right? So get ready for that. Calypso back in Brooklyn, featuring King Ajamo, Kevin Roger, Randy Isaac, Zingo, many more. Your MC is Hercules, the funny man, of course. Val Adams, yours truly, will be there. So put yourself in the mood and come out and enjoy Calypso the way we know it. It's going to be sweet. It's going to be a pleasure. It's going to be epic. Come out, folks. Come out, folks. Val Adams, say so.
Riders Excursion and Tours Weekly e-bike rides. Gather your family and friends for an unforgettable ride through stunning landscapes. Book your adventure today at ridersabike.com or call 473-422-1011. Don't miss out. Let's ride.
What if you had a choice? A choice of joining a line or a choice of making your purchases online? What would you choose? While you ponder on that, the National Lotteries Authority has provided another purchasing option. All their games are now available online. Yes, Grenadians! From wherever you are, purchase your favorite daily and jackpot type games using any electronic device. Register on the NLA's website at www.nla.gd. Top up your account and enjoy online lottery gaming at your convenience. We're taking shopping comfort up. Several notches. But the choice is yours. Join a line or buy online. NLA, make your dreams come true.
Together with Grown Promotions brings you Legacy. The Starters Edition. Friday, May 24th at the National Stadium Lawn. Grenada. Brace yourselves for Dancehall's Prince, the Ladies Man, Nike Boy. Live.
one girl when Continental girl takes it from me.
Nike Boy.
Grenada, if you want me, you can have me. I'm coming to celebrate with Genuine Legacy. You don't want to miss this one. Meet me there.
Along with top Grenadian superstars. Regular ticket $60, front stage $250, and more at the door. Ticketmasters, Chucky's Bar, and Grenadian Optical St. George's. Gitters Pharmacy Grand Dance, Chai's Bar, Victoria St. Mark, Jimmy Bones Bar, St. Patrick's, St. David's Pharmacy, and Supreme Cut St. Andrews. Gates open at 9 p.m. sharp with an impressive lineup of DJs and MCs. Legacy. The Starters Edition. Friday, 24th May, National Stadium Lawn. Sponsored by Club 007, Premium Auto Car Parts, Rockers Promotions, and Grenada Fast Prince.
On May 26th, 2024, for the Riders Get Money Bingo. And your chance to take home a whopping $2,000. Don't miss this opportunity to hit it big. Tickets are on sale now at ridebuy.com. Single ticket, $10. Or increase your chances with 3 tickets for only $20. Hurry, tickets are selling fast. Visit ridebuy.com to secure yours today. Feel the excitement and win big at the Riders Get Money Bingo. Get your tickets now at ridebuy.com. Your $2,000 moment is waiting.
No? Yeah. You guys didn't hear nothing that I said, right? Okay. I was doing sign language. I wanted to see if you guys know sign language. What I was saying, guys, you have an opportunity to win 4 bingo tickets right now. Or not win, but get 4 bingo tickets right now. You buy 3, you get 1 extra. All right? And the jackpot, the grand jackpot is $1,000, but you have 3 other chances to win additional $1,000. So you have 4 games, right? Click on that link right now. Yeah, thank you so much. Click on the link right now or go to ridebuy.com, ridebuy.com. That's it right there. Click on that link right now and purchase your bingo ticket for this Sunday. Grand Bingo is happening. So you have like about another 10 minutes before the program ends. So click on that link and go buy your ticket. You buy 4 tickets, you get 1 free. Right? So you buy 4 tickets, you get 1 free. You buy 3 tickets, you get 1 free. Do it right now before the end of the program and you're set. All right, a few people already took advantage of this opportunity. Thank you so much. We see you. Also happening this weekend. Kaiso is back in NYC. Yo, Kaiso is back in NYC, guys. YTM Records presents a massive Kaiso show. Check this out.
Together with Ground Promotions brings you
Sunday, May 26th, we're bringing back the good old days of Calypso in Brooklyn. One delightful evening, Memorial Sunday, an intimate evening of Calypso in Brooklyn.
Calypso.
Featuring a cast of your favorite Calypsonians and DJs, repping for the Trinis, Natasha Wilson. Alongside a host of Grenadian superstars, headed by the Kingman and Jamo. Also Val Adam, Randy Isaac, and Peter Humphrey. Plus single, Kevin Roger, Andy Limas, The Inspector.
Last day German inside the band, me and a grand and woman.
All hosted by the Independence Monarch, Hercules. It's all taking place at 634 Remsen Avenue, between Church and Avenue A. Showtime 3 p.m. Tickets $40. For tickets and info, call 646-474-1682. An intimate evening of Calypso in Brooklyn. Memorial Sunday. Presented to you by YTM Records.
That is life.
I want you folks to play these 3 games from the NLA. Daily pick 3 cash flow and play with. You will be supporting sports and culture, nation building and our future. So go out and play, folks, make it a must. You will see what the National Lottery is doing for us. When you play pick 3 cash flow and play with, the NLA will support you all the way.
Starting September 30th, Monday to Friday, these 3 games will be drawn mid-morning, 9:45 a.m., midday, 12:45 p.m., and evenings, 7:45 p.m. The National Lotteries, supporting sports, culture, and nation building.
Sunday money.
Yeah, support the games of the National Lottery Authority. Even if you don't win, guys, even if you don't win, you're supporting sports culture and, of course, nation building. Yeah. Also, guys, I want you to check out this website. It's called travelcaribinc.com. Yeah, that's travelcaribinc.com. Listen, you going on a vacation? Yeah, you're going on a vacation, and you want to make sure you have everything that you need, right? Now, travelcaribinc.com ensure that everything you desire, you'll find it on that website. Just check it out. If you think I lied, just check it out. Go on the website. Type in travelcaribinc.com. Just travelcaribinc.com. You will see what I'm talking about. Everything you need when you're traveling, you get it right there. Travelcaribinc.com. Check them out right now Convenience, ease, access. And of course, you get a little discount on thing when you go through Travel Carib Inc. Try it right now, travelcaribinc.com. That's travelcaribinc.com. Also, guys, don't forget, if you need a t-shirt printed, you got to check out Instaprint Grenada. Instaprint Grenada, with 2 locations, one in New York, one in Grenada. Before you bling, they print. Yeah, before you bling, they print. Call them 473-422-1011. That's in Grenada. Or in New York, you can call 718-701-5720. Instaprint Grenada. Yeah, we got to big up our sponsor, Lenovo Pro Open Bluetooth headphones. So many of you guys already got the Lenovo. Thank you so much for the support, guys. Lenovo is our permanent sponsor because they say they love the vibe that they get from Ride By. They've been selling a lot of headphones. You guys have really been buying all these headphones on Ride By, and we say thank you, thank you, thank you, and thank you. Appreciate you. Don't forget, guys, go and get your tickets right now for the big bingo that's taking place on Sunday. $2,000. $2,000 bingo. $2,000 bingo. Wow. Get it right now at rideby.com, or you could click that link right here. You have about 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes. Buy 3, get 1 extra. So you get 4 tickets, 4 chances to win. You could win up to $2,000. Get it right now. Guys, I got some closing words on the program today. Listen, when we hear about this crime and violence that happening in Grenada, straight to the Caribbean, really, it's really provoking, a lot of emotions. But keep in mind that it is not the majority. It is a very small, minute minority of people that are getting involved in this type of violent crimes. So when you talk about safety, Grenada still remain a very safe place. In fact, if you look at, go straight to the Caribbean, St. Lucia had its uprising with crime in Vieux-Fort. For a whole week, there was so much instances of crime, but that still doesn't match up to the amount of crime when you take per capita that happens in places like right here in Brooklyn where we live. So we got to put it into perspective. It is a small minority of people that are involved in this crime. But rest assured, you could handpick as a visitor, as someone going into this region, you could handpick any one of the islands, Grenada, St. Vincent, St. Lucia, whatever, and take a plane. You could walk through and be safe. You need to go to a place. Most of the times, the locals would point, not only just point you, but they'll bring you to the location. Friendly people. The Caribbean is a friendly region. So don't let any of this deter you from jumping on a JetBlue, for instance, and heading down to the Caribbean region. It's one of the best vacations you will have. All right? Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for being a part of our program. On behalf of all of our production crew here at Ride Along Live, our senior executive producer, Lois JJ, we say thank you so much. We appreciate you again. Guys, check out the website, travelcaribinc.com. That's travelcaribinc.com. It vibes, real vibes. No joke. And while there, and you're checking out the Ride By, you could also check out some of the new products that we have on sale, the pure Grenadian gold, the sweaters, the t-shirt, and of course, the Lenovo headphones. Thank you for watching, guys. Catch me again tomorrow. Good night.